The recruitment dust has hardly settled, but what is happening in the shadows could change the course of our franchise definitively. Our management hasn't closed the books, and a piece of information has just leaked. They've intentionally left a spot on the roster open, laying the groundwork for an explosive last-minute move. There is a heavyweight veteran, an elite offensive superstar who could arrive in the capital at any moment. Who is this giant that will elevate our offense to another level? Hold your excitement, as I will reveal this final card shortly in the video. And the domination plan doesn't stop there. Surgical predictions from within the league have just come out, stating that one of our new talents won't just be an ordinary rookie, but will dominate opponents and land directly on the podium of top NFL awards. We have brought in a true defensive destruction machine. But to wrap up this chaotic scenario, pay very close attention. Even with genius planning and heavy choices, one of the largest sports media outlets in the country has just humiliated us, dropping our team in the power ranking of the league in a shocking manner. At first glance, it seems like pure disrespect towards the Commanders. However, there is a hidden and lethal factor behind this drop that threatens to throw our entire reconstruction into the trash. And I assure you that your pride as a fan is not prepared to face the brutal truth that experts are seeing. And of course, don't forget to leave a like. It's just a click, it's quick, and it's all I ask. When analyzing the current roster of the Commanders, there's one number that stands out negatively in a considerable way. As a fan who follows every move, I know that the longer it stays like this, the greater the likelihood that Adam Peters will make another change to the team. The Washington Commanders came out of the 2026 NFL Draft with 6 selections, strategically increasing the roster to 81 players. Next, Adam Peters and his team signed 9 undrafted free agents, raising the roster to 90 players consistently. According to NFL rules, this is the maximum number of players teams can maintain in the offseason. However, one of those 90 players is TJ Magarinyanga, a player from the International Pathway Program. He is currently not on the roster, which leaves the Commanders with 89 players. It is obvious that the Commanders are keeping the spot open to sign a veteran free agent. Or possibly the wide receiver Brandon Ayuk from the San Francisco 49ers. The Commanders still need reinforcements in key positions, such as wide receiver and cornerback. The safety position is also on that list of needs. There are some free agents that make considerable sense for the Commanders. When it comes to receivers, there are plausible options on the market. Stefon Diggs, Jawan Jennings, and even Keenan Allen would certainly help bolster the Commanders' receiver group. In the cornerback position, the top names are Rasul Douglas, Trayvon Diggs, Martin Emerson, and perhaps even L'Jarius Sneed. Douglas makes a lot of sense as Durante Jones needs smart and experienced players. 2 help maximize his secondary, and the veteran possesses both characteristics with ease. There aren't many options at the safety position, so let's move to Ayuk clearly. If the Commanders continue to leave the spot open, it is more than reasonable to assume that signing Ayuk is in the plans, whether through a trade or signing him after his release. The acquisition would be a significant boost to the Commanders' offense considerably. As long as he is healthy and back to the production levels of 2022 and 2023, Ayuk has become one of the best receivers in the NFL during that time, and his ability to win at all 3 levels of the field is exactly the complement that Terry McLaurin needs. And obviously, there's his relationship with Jaden Daniels. We all know how high the potential can be for a QB-WR duo when both get along well. And Daniels and Ayuk get along very well consistently. They are true friends, and that kind of connection can lead to very good things on the field. Either way, keep an eye on that final spot on the roster. Something is going to happen sooner or later. And now, get ready for the bold predictions. You're going to find out how the 2026 draft class of the Commanders will perform during the rookie season. The Washington Commanders made a judgment error in the draft, but they also had their fair share of good moments. Looking to the future, here are the bold predictions of the Commanders for the classic 2026 NFL Draft, during their debut season strategically. With only 6 picks at their disposal and having lost the 2nd and 4th rounds, the Commanders faced a tough task. They got off to a good start by landing Sonny Styles with the 7th overall pick. From there, things didn't always go smoothly consistently. But how will this unfold in the 2026 season? Linebacker Sonny Styles will be among the top 3 in voting for Defensive Rookie of the Year, unless the Commanders make a pitch to extend Bobby Wagner's contract. Sonny Styles will have access to all the plays he can. By the volume of play, he will put up numbers that will put him in the running for the Defensive Rookie of the Year award, surrounded by veterans like Frankie Louvu, Leo Chenal, and Jordan Magee. Styles has teammates who can help him adjust to the NFL level. Analyst Logan Paulson stated that Styles is a complete player, according to Commanders.com. From an athletic standpoint, from a wingspan standpoint, Sonny Styles is a very unique prospect, Paulson said. I hope to explain this. If you look at his raw, you will see that he has a 10 in raw. He is tall and heavy. He has wingspan and is fast. You just don't see players like this at that position. Last year, Carson Schwezinger of the Browns won the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Totaling 156 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 11 tackles for loss, Styles is capable of making the same impact, perhaps not at the same volume of tackles, but he can accumulate statistics in all areas of the defensive game significantly. Wide receiver Antonio Williams will have over 50 receptions, but will have a low average of yards per reception. If Williams secures a spot in the starting lineup, he will catch passes and make good receptions. And as the competition comes from players like Luke McCaffrey, Treylon Burks, and Diami Brown, that shouldn't be a problem at all. Unfortunately, Williams' volume of play won't necessarily be impactful. Expect him to make tough receptions, gain the necessary yards, and perhaps become a weapon in the red zone. At best, Williams could create enough problems for opposing defenses, allowing Terry McLaurin to have more freedom for clutch plays. If the new offensive coordinator, David Blau, knows how to use him well, Williams could have a significant impact. Edge Joshua Josephs will achieve more than 6 sacks. It could be a tough task for a player picked in the 5th round of the draft to get a high number of sacks. This is especially true considering he doesn't have a direct path to a high number of snaps. But if the Commanders can refine the details of Joseph's performance, they could have a solid rookie season. One of the things he needs is to refine his technique for pressuring the opposing quarterback. According to NFL.com clearly, he is not a player who leans naturally, so adding signature moves, a functional inside counter, and better pressure plans will be essential, wrote Lance Zierlein. With more weight and ongoing training, Josephs could perform much more consistently than he has shown so far. Running back Katrin Allen will score more than 8 touchdowns considerably. Just don't expect many yards. Allen could end up being the goal line running back for the Commanders at some point this season, and if the offense is as good as expected, he will have plenty of opportunities. But according to The Athletic, he is not the type of player who stands out in big games overall. Allen is not an exceptional athlete like Singleton, but he has a better sense of the position. And he maximizes runs with his vision, physique, and body control, wrote Dane Brugler. With his instincts for running with the ball and his blocking skills, he has the potential to be a consistent backup or a low-level starter in the NFL. Pivot Matt Golban will become at least a part-time starter. This is not an injury prediction. It's a clear opportunity. The Commanders don't have many players on the interior offensive line, and coaches love consistent players. Golban is the definition of consistency. Moreover, according to The Athletic, he brings versatility to the offensive line. Golban is the only offensive lineman in this draft class who can say he has over 10 games as a starter. In all 3 interior positions of the college offensive line, wrote Brugler, he has the potential to be a center backup in a gap blocking scheme, as well as providing versatility as a guard. He plays with just average foot speed and reflexes, which affects his reach, but he has a naturally fluid movement. Quarterback Athan Kaliakmanis will not be part of the Commanders roster. This is a considerably bold prediction. That's because NFL general managers are driven by ego. It's hard for them to admit mistakes, especially quickly. But the Commanders would have fared much better had they selected Grant Nussmeier in the draft and signed Kaliakmanis as a free agent. The Washington Commanders significantly dominated the free agency period, which allowed them to have many open options for the NFL draft. The Commanders had only 6 draft picks this year. After the trade that brought left tackle Laramie Tunsil, general manager Adam Peters tried to make the most of them without making any trades on draft day to acquire more capital. Although most expected Washington to prioritize defense in the draft, the team did the opposite, selecting only 2 defensive players and 4 offensive ones. Many praised the Commanders for the value obtained with their picks, but the draft seems to have contributed to the team's drop in the NFL power ranking. Fox Sports drops the Commanders by 4 positions significantly. Dan Quinn fell in love with Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles, and that's great, wrote Ralph Vacchiano about the Commanders' 4-position drop in the draft. But what this team needed most were decisive offensive players. They got Clemson wide receiver Antonio Williams in the 3rd round, but they needed more, along with reinforcements on the offensive line. It is hard to deny the sentiments expressed by Vacchiano here in any way. The selection of Styles was excellent, although many would probably have expected to sign elite cornerback Mansour Delane before the Chiefs jumped the Commanders to secure his signing, along with the addition of Leo Chenal in free agency. The situation becomes even more concerning due to the fact that the Commanders chose Antonio Williams in the 3rd round of the draft significantly. Although Williams is an excellent receiver with refined roots, playing in the slot receiver position, he lacks explosive play capability and also does not fit the profile of a wide receiver that the team truly needed to play alongside Terry McLaurin. Peters and Washington ultimately opted to sign Williams instead of players like Ted Hurst, Malachi Fields, Caleb Douglas, Jacoby Lane, and Chris Brazzell II. all of whom apparently would fit better in the Commanders' offense. The rest of the draft, although it offered great options, also generated some considerable uncertainties. Selecting Joshua Josephs with the third pick of the 5th round will likely seem like a great choice, given that some of the current edge rushers for the Commanders will become free agents next offseason clearly. However, the choice of Katron Allen to reinforce an already sizable group of running backs made no sense unless the Commanders plan to let most of their players at that position walk in next year's free agency considerably. And we cannot forget about the decision to wait until the 6th round to select an interior offensive lineman while also betting on a quarterback in the 7th round, who probably would not be drafted at all. Yes, the value was there, but did the draft really improve the Commanders now and in the future? Vacchiano is not convinced of that, and neither am I, but Washington now has the chance to put all the pieces together to prove once again that the skeptics are wrong, while they seek to recover from a disastrous 5-12 season. Ralph Vacchiano's assessment reflects the legitimate concerns of many fans and analysts about the Commanders' draft. The drop of 4 positions in the power rankings is significant and shows that experts are not entirely satisfied with the choices made. This is a reality that the Commanders need to face. Adam Peters' strategy of focusing on value instead of immediate needs may be smart long term. But in the short term, the team may suffer for not having addressed some critical gaps. The Commanders' offense needs more than just Antonio Williams to compete in the NFC East. As a Commanders fan, I'm divided about the overall draft performance. Some choices were excellent, like Sonny Styles, while others were lacking. The selection of Athan Kaliakmanis in the 7th round still does not make sense to me. The future will tell if the draft was successful or not. If Sonny Styles becomes an all-pro and the other players develop well, then Peters will have succeeded. But if the judgment errors become apparent, the team will suffer. The upcoming season will be crucial in determining whether the 2026 draft was a success or a failure. The Commanders need to prove that they can compete in the NFC East with the choices they made. I sincerely hope that Peters got his evaluations right. Hey, fan, after finding out that the Commanders left a roster spot open that could be filled with Brandon Ayuk or another veteran, understanding the bold predictions about how the 2026 draft class will perform during the rookie season, and knowing that the Commanders dropped 4 spots in the Fox Sports Power Rankings after the draft, which of these situations leaves you feeling more hopeful or worried? Do you believe the Commanders should really sign Brandon Ayuk to fill that open roster spot, or would it be smarter to focus on other positions of need and let the current receivers develop? And more importantly, do you trust that Adam Peters will make the right choices to make up for any draft mistakes through free agency? Or are we doomed to see the team struggle with the questionable decisions made during the draft? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think about the future of the Washington Commanders.